In a game like Mobile Legends, you have a better chance of winning if you can deal big amounts of physical damage, which is especially important not just for killing enemies but also in destroying their turrets. In this video, we're going to be discussing all the different attack items in Mobile Legends. My name's Joey and this is Yugatech Gaming. Attack items are basically pieces of gear that give bonuses to your stats, like physical attack, attack speed, critical chance, lifesteal, and more. There are currently 16 of them in the game, some with different passive effects. Knowing all of these is one of your first steps to becoming a better player and dominating the battlefield. Before we start, a few notes. You can buy multiple of the same item, but only the stats will stack. Passive abilities are not stackable. There's also a limit on cooldown reduction, which is up to 40%. Let's start with tier 1 attack items, the most basic form of attack gear in Mobile Legends. So first up, we have the Dagger for attack speed. This one grants you plus 10% attack speed and costs you 280 gold. The next one is the Dagger for additional damage. This one gives you plus 15 points of physical attack. It will cost you 250 gold. Next up is the Javelin. It gives you plus 8% critical chance. It will cost you 320 gold. Next, the Vampire Mallet. It gives you plus 8% lifesteal and costs you 400 gold. Finally, for tier 1, we have the Iron Hunting Bow. It'll give you plus 10 points of physical attack and plus 5% cooldown reduction. It costs you 450 gold. Next up is the tier 2 items, which is basically a mid-level upgrade from tier 1. So first up for tier 2 is the Legion Sword. It gives you plus 60 points of physical attack. The Legion Sword will cost you 910 gold, and to build it, you need 2 damage daggers. Next up for tier 2 is the Ogre Tomahawk. It gives you plus 30 points of physical attack, plus 230 points of HP. It also has a passive ability. Basic attacks will increase your hero's movement speed by 10%. The Ogre Tomahawk will cost you 790 gold, and to build it you'll need 1 damage dagger and 1 vitality crystal. Next up is the Fury Hammer. It gives you plus 35 physical attack, and for its passive you get plus 12 points of physical penetration. It costs 980 gold, and to build this item you only need 1 damage dagger. Next up, the Magic Blade. It gives you plus 40 points of physical attack, plus 24 points of magic resistance, and for its unique passive, once your hero's HP falls below 30%, they generate a shield that absorbs 280 to 700 points of damage that increases with level, lasting for 3 seconds. This effect has a cooldown of 40 seconds. The Magic Blade will cost you 1,300 gold, and to build it you need 1 damage dagger and 1 magic resist cloak. Next, we have the Deadly Blade. It gives you plus 50 points of physical attack and plus 15% of attack speed. For its passive ability, basic attacks reduce your enemy's HP regen effect by 50% for 3 seconds. It costs 1,500 gold, and to build it, you need 1 damage dagger and 1 attack speed dagger. Next, the Regular Spear. It gives you plus 20 points of physical attack and plus 10% attack speed. It costs you 600 gold and will require 1 attack speed dagger and 1 damage dagger. And finally, for tier 2, we have the Rogue Meteor. It gives you plus 15% attack speed and plus 10% critical chance. It costs 900 gold, and to build it, you need 1 attack speed dagger and 1 javelin. Now, for the next set of items, this is tier 3 for attack items. These are the strongest versions of the attack items in Mobile Legends. First up for tier 3, we have the Demon Hunter Sword, also known as the Tank Killer. It gives you plus 35 points of physical attack, plus 25% attack speed, and unique passive. Basic attacks will deal 9% of the target's current HP as additional physical damage, or up to 60 if you're against creeps and minions. Each basic attack grants 4% lifesteal for 4 seconds, up to 3 times. The Demon Hunter Sword will cost you 2,180 gold, and to build it you need 1 Vampire Mallet, 1 attack speed dagger, and 1 regular spear. Next up, we have the Sea Halberd. It gives you plus 70 points of physical attack, plus 25% attack speed. As for its unique passive, basic attacks reduce the HP regen effect of your enemies by 50% for 3 seconds, so this is a perfect counter for heroes like Thanos, Esmeralda, and Uranus. The Sea Halberd costs you 2,200 gold, and the recipe is 1 Deadly Blade and 1 damage dagger. Next is the Corrosion Scythe. It gives you plus 50 points of physical attack, plus 5% movement speed, and plus 25% attack speed. For its passive ability, attacks have a 50% chance of slowing the enemy unit by 30%, while long-range basic attacks only slow enemies by 15%. It will cost you 2,050 gold, and as for the recipe, you'll require 2 regular spears. Next up is the Malefic Roar. This one gives you plus 60 points of physical attack, and for its unique passive, you also get plus 40% of physical penetration, and basic attack will ignore 20% of a turret's defense. It'll cost you 2,060 gold, and to build this item, you need only 1 Legion Sword. Next up is Haas's Claws. You get plus 70 points of physical attack, and for its unique passive, you get plus 20% lifesteal, and when your HP drops below 40%, you get an extra 10% lifesteal when you equip it. Haas's Claws will cost you 1,810 gold, and to build it, you need 1 Vampire Mallet and 1 Legion Sword. Next up, Berserker's Fury. It grants you 65 points of physical attack, plus 25% critical chance, and for its passive ability, you get plus 40% of critical damage, and critical hit will increase your hero's physical attack by 5% for 2 seconds. It will cost you 2,350 gold, and to build it you need 2 Javelins and 1 Legion Sword. Next, Endless Battle. You get plus 65 points of physical attack, plus 25 mana regen, plus 250 points of HP, plus 10% cooldown reduction, plus 5% movement speed, and plus 15% lifesteal. It also has a passive. After using a skill, the next basic attack will deal an extra 85% of physical attack as true damage. This effect has a cooldown of 1.5 seconds. And when the effect is triggered, it'll increase your hero's movement speed by 10%. That's a lot for just one item, and that's why this item is the most favorite item of most damage dealers in Mobile Legends. This one will cost you 2,470 gold, and to build it you need 1 Azure Blade, 1 Ogre Tomahawk, and 1 Vampire Mallet. Next up, we have the WINDTALKER. This one's best for critical heroes like Clint and Leslie. You get plus 40% attack speed, plus 20 movement speed, plus 10% crit chance, and it has a passive ability. Every 5 seconds, basic attacks hit 3 enemies that deal 150 points of magic damage. It'll cost you 1,870 gold, and the recipe is 1 Rogue Meteor and 1 attack speed dagger. Next up, the Scarlet Phantom. It's also good for critical heroes. It gets you plus 30 points of physical attack, plus 30% attack speed, and plus 25% critical chance. You also get a passive ability. Critical hits will increase your hero's attack speed by 30% and crit chance by 5%, lasting for 2 seconds. It will cost you 2,020 gold, and to build it you need 1 Rogue Meteor and 1 Javelin. Next up, we have the Blade of the Heptaseas. You get plus 65 points of physical attack, plus 250 HP, and plus 15 points of physical penetration. For its unique passive, basic attacks will deal extra physical damage equal to 100% of physical attack if no damage is taken or dealt within 5 seconds. It will cost you 1,950 gold, and to build it you need 1 Vitality Crystal, 1 Damage Dagger, and 1 Fury Hammer. Next up, Blade of Despair. You get plus 170 points of physical attack and plus 5% movement speed. For its passive, attacking enemy units that have below 50% HP will increase your hero's physical attack by 25% for 2 seconds. It'll cost you 3,010 gold, and to build this item you need 2 Legion Swords. Next up, Hunter Strike. This item gives you plus 80 points of physical attack, plus 10% cooldown reduction, and plus 15 points physical penetration. For its passive, attacking enemy heroes or minions 5 times in a row will increase your movement speed by 30% for 3 seconds, with a cooldown of 15 seconds. It'll cost you 2,010 gold, and to build this item you need 1 Damage Dagger, 1 Iron Hunting Bow, and 1 Fury Hammer. Next, the Bloodlust Axe. This one is best for heroes that deal a lot of damage using their skills and passive abilities, like Thamos and Leomord. It gives you plus 70 physical attack and plus 10% cooldown reduction. For its unique passive, you get plus 20% Spell Vamp. It'll cost you 1,970 gold, and to build it you need 2 Iron Hunting Bows and 1 Damage Dagger. Next up, the Rose Gold Meteor. You get plus 60 points of physical attack and plus 30 points of magic defense. This item is perfect for assassins that like to initiate the most because its passive ability is when your health drops below 30%, this item generates a shield that absorbs 510 to 1,350 damage points that lasts for 3 seconds. This effect has a cooldown of 40 seconds. It'll cost you 2,270 gold, and to build it you need 1 Magic Blade and 1 Damage Dagger. Second to the last, we have the Golden Staff. This one's best for heroes that mainly rely on their physical damage like Claude and Carry. You get plus 65 points of physical attack and plus 30% attack speed. Its passive effect is normal basic attacks add a stack of Endless Strike. After accumulating 2 stacks of Endless Strike, the effect of the next basic attack is triggered 3 times. It'll cost you 2,100 gold, and to build it you need 2 attack speed daggers and 1 regular spear. And now we're down to the last one for the attack items, Wind of Nature. This one's best for heroes that are prone to being the main target of the enemy team. It gives you plus 10 points of physical attack, plus 25% attack speed, and plus 15% physical lifesteal. It has an ability called Wind Chant. When you activate it, your hero will be immune to all physical damage for 2 seconds for marksman heroes and only 1 second for melee type heroes. It'll cost you 1,910 gold, and to build this item you need 2 attack speed daggers and 1 vampire mallet. And that's it for all of the attack items in Mobile Legends. It's important to know about all of them so you don't keep checking the shop while you're playing and so you can focus on building the best items for your chosen hero. I hope you guys learned a lot in this video, and if you did, be sure to leave a like, subscribe to our channel for more content, hit the bell icon to miss any future uploads, and be sure to visit yugatech.com/gaming for more news, tips, and tricks. This has been Joey, and I'll see you guys in the next one.